No shit.
Yeah, just like that, dude. Just like that. Just my whole life changed right there with a crack of a lightning bolt.
Oh my God. And you were 18, right? You know, as my man Mark Twain says, against the assault of laughter, nothing can withstand. And today we find out how true that statement is. But before we get into all that, I got a bunch of shit I got to tell you about. This is one of two different types of episodes I have within the show. Long format, 60 to 90 minutes long. This one came a little longer, so I chopped it again into two episodes. Got one or two guests on today. Leo, awesome time, as you'll see. Opposite weeks, I go live, show that I call On My Mind. It's 10, 15 minutes. Those topics range drastically. All sorts of crazy shit, because whatever's on my mind. I go live on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube. So if you're not part of those communities, get your ass over. Hook up with me, all right? And I'm a one-man band here. Everything I do, or everything you see here, is just me. You know, I don't have any crew and staff and all that. Of course, I have some apps and a little bit of AI. Other than that, that's me. So I'm asking for a little bit of help from you. Jump over to whatever app you're listening to this on. Write a review, 5-star rating, all that good stuff. Like, share, everything else that everybody asks you to do as well. And if you like what I've got going on here, you know what? Tell a friend or 7. Now, I'm a huge fan of supporting local business, and I have a couple. Links are in the show notes that have been helping me out for years, and I would love for you to check these guys out. Craig over at High Speed Daddy, Charmaine over at Live Rishi. Again, both these products have been a staple in this household for years. Check them out and give them shit for me when you get over there. All right, man, let's get to this. This is part 1 of a 2-part series here with Leo. This dude has gone from the head of the spear in a combat situation in his years of service to now being the head of a spear, of course, with his family. He's doing amazing stuff on social media. And the story on how he transitioned, well, you know what? I'm going to let him tell you all about it. Let's get to it. I really like what you said about positivity on social media. The thing that you run into, I imagine, because I do as well, I'm a kind of aggressive positive. Like, get your shit done. Not, oh, you're so wonderful. Right?
Yeah.
Because that's just my language, right? I mean, I teach my son that, and I'm like, just fucking get the work done, dude. You know? But I run into the algorithm thing. You know, if I threw up something fear-mongering about politics or the world's going to end, or about the space thing, well, quote unquote, how the ladies went up in space,
Yeah.
the shit would be all over my page. And it's like, but it's going back to what you said. It's not real.
Yeah.
That's not me. That's not me. I think see if you go along with it is I'm going to be me and let the universe come to me.
Yeah. I like a lot of content creators, I think chase headlines.
Sure.
They try and jump on it for the algorithms. I kind of go counter to that. While I know things are going on in the world, I try and counter the bad. So if you see in the news there's something like particularly horrible that happens, on my page on that given day, you're going to see more comedy.
Yeah.
You're going to see more positivity. You're going to see me trying to offset what people are seeing everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried to stick to that. I think yesterday was my 5 years.
I saw a post about that.
Yeah.
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah. So I've been doing this for 5 years, and I'm at heart, I think I'm an empath, and I feel the world, and I feel the people in my community and what they're going through. And I just try and offset some of this negativity that's out there.
Yeah, I love that. Like the post I just put up was, you know, that people take care of chickens, they're literally chicken tenders.
That's great. I love that. Yeah,
It made me laugh. I'm like, you know what? If this makes me laugh, it's going to make somebody else laugh.
yeah.
Right.
I'll find like something small that just I will laugh for half an hour, 45 minutes about it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I gotta put something like that up. I don't care if anybody else. Like I think I'm closing in on the 40,000 mark, and I don't care if I get like one laugh react to it. If it's funny to me, I'm putting it up
Yep. Yep.
because
And
I know it's gonna brighten somebody's day out there because it
well,
brightened mine.
that's what I look at too. Is if I find it funny, again, somebody else is going to find it funny. But then my next post is about how crocodiles technically never they don't die of old age. They just keep growing and growing and growing and growing. And what kills them is disease or starvation because they get so big that they can't feed them. They don't. There's not enough food to feed them. In their environment.
Yeah,
So I'll call people chicken tenders one time and then post something about that the next time. There's no rhyme or reason to shit that I post. If I find it interesting, I throw it up. Makes me
yeah.
laugh, I throw it up. Yeah.
No, yeah, 100%.
Yep. And to bring so I use Mark Twain's quote all the time. Against the salt of a laughter, nothing can stand.
Yep.
So if we can laugh, there ain't a problem in the world, man. And I think there wasn't a lot of laughter in the last couple years, dude.
Yeah, the last couple of years has been pretty.
Pretty
We've had some
stagnant.
dark days.
Yeah.
Um. Oh gosh, I just lost track of what I was thinking.
I do that all the time.
Oh yeah, I got drain damage. So, yeah, it'll come back to me though.
But what made you start your page? Like, what would you like? Did you just started it and like, let's see where it goes, or did you like have a business plan and like try to put it together?
Oh hell no, I've never had a plan.
Still don't.
March, I'll take it back to March 2020. Okay, so March 17th, me and my wife were at Walmart. We're sitting in the parking lot, and I made this terrible, terrible comment. To this day, it haunts me. I said, "Oh, there's too many people in the world. This parking lot is like the parking lot was just packed. We couldn't find anywhere to park. I was like, there's just way too many people." And the very next day, Illinois shut down completely for 2020. And my wife's like, there you go. Karma hits you. And then, so we were going through the pandemic, and what I was seeing was all these people just, like all the restaurants in our area, they had closed down and they were just doing like to go orders.
Mm-hmm.
And you see on a daily occurrence all of the negative reviews. People will take time to write a full paragraph saying how terrible a chicken sandwich was. But if something is good, they'll just say like, "Oh, excellent sandwich," or "good place to eat." That's all you get.
Well, my man Mark Twain has a quote about that. About how's it go? Bad news will get around the world twice before good news laces its shoes up.
Yeah, exactly. So I went and I got a cheeseburger from a restaurant, a local restaurant, and we'd been locked inside for like 2 weeks, and it was just like a taste of heaven. And I wrote this ridiculous review about it, and I really based it on kind of like the Amazon kind of stuff, like all the funny Amazon reviews. They're like a page long.
Yeah.
I was like, somebody's got to do that for a food review. So I wrote this long format food review out, and I think like by the end of the week, this is like on a Monday, because I do a $6 burger basket on Mondays, and by Friday, I think it was like 300 or 400,000 people had like gotten that review, and it just the amount of laughter, like messages, and people that people were sending me was just awesome, and I just continued doing that for 2020 because it was like everybody's locked inside, everybody is miserable. So every day, if I can post something to make everybody smile a little bit, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So 2020, I just focused on writing and doing reviews and trying to review every small business in my area.
Mm.
I think it was like 75 or 80 restaurants I reviewed in the first year.
Did you gain
And
a
I was
bunch of
literally,
weight?
oh God, man, I gained a lot of weight. Uh, I was broke. Oh man, did I go broke? I had a really good job at the time, and then at some point during there, I started my own page. I was putting my reviews out, kind of in like a public venue, and
Okay.
then I started my own page in April, and just put everything there, and that way I could have a little bit more of a community kind of
Hmm.
around me that wanted to hear my bull snot. Because with everything on social media, you're gonna have people that hate everything you say. No matter how positive it is, no matter how much people love it or laugh, react to it, or whatever, you're always gonna have a couple people that just hate you,
Yeah.
just because.
Well, they hate themselves,
So,
really, but
yeah. Well, excuse me. I found that most of the time it's just people that are just having a bad day,
Mhm.
and they got to find a way to take it out on somebody. And my humor is not for everybody. And if on a particular day it rubs them the wrong way, they're going to say something. And with starting my own page and my own kind of community, I was able to kind of control that a little bit more
Sure. Yeah.
because I don't everything devolves into politics or racism or hatred or just spitefulness.
Hmm.
So if I can control where a conversation is going a little bit without, I don't want to take away people's opinions because like I said, I know not everybody's going to agree with me.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate macaroni and cheese on a hamburger, uh, but so many people love it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So with starting my own page, I was able to control it a little bit and just keep it more positive. And I've kept it going for 5 years. This year has been more focused on mental health and just being real. And I think I've gravitated towards that over the last 5 years.
So you kind of started in that way, right?
Yeah.
Because you were. It sounds like you were doing honest work, honest work to begin with. I imagine you wrote honestly what you thought about something.
Oh yeah. It was.
I get that from you,
There,
but
there's a level of integrity to what I do. I a lot of my stories are kind of outlandish, but I've had a very adventurous life. So,
yeah,
uh, and one of the things that I've always felt is that you can connect emotions to meals.
oh, see,
So, like you can go back in your childhood and think of at least one meal and the emotions that surrounded that one meal. Like before I was giving up, before my parents had to give me up for adoption, I can remember down in Missouri, it was just blazing heat out. We were poor, and all my cousins were around, and there was no meat to make sandwiches. And so we're sitting in there, and there's no peanut butter and jelly left. And, I mean, we were poor as dirt, but there was I think a French's mustard. So like three of us had mustard sandwiches, and I just I didn't complain at all. It was just like, hey, here's a mustard sandwich.
Yeah.
I did not know what not having something was all about. I just knew that I had 2 slices of bread, I had some mustard, and it is one of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my entire life.
But the thing is, I like where you went with that. But to add to that, and I agree with you 1,000%. When you were talking about when you wrote that review and you got all those people to respond to it, the connection is food. Food brings. I mean,
Yeah,
because
it brings everybody together.
yeah, in our how's it go in our DNA when we're around a campfire and live in a cave? If the man or whoever, but the man brought home meat, it was a successful day, and everybody sat around the fire and was happy because they get to eat, and that
Yeah.
just builds in your DNA, right?
Oh,
And
yeah. We go all the way back.
yeah, so when I started this project, it was originally called Walt's Kitchen Table because
Okay.
growing up, everything happened at the kitchen table. If
Yeah.
I came over to your house right now, we'd probably hang out at the kitchen table. I mean,
100%.
that's just the way. That's just the way I was brought up. But it got really tough with content and marketing because everybody hitting me up was like food, 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 which
Oh, yeah.
you couldn't blame them because kitchen table people associated with food and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So that's what I had to rebrand. But it just food is such a big thing in everybody's life.
Yeah.
My parents, when they first met my wife, she was training, doing triathlons and stuff. So her calorie intake was big, and she's a little
Oh,
woman.
yeah.
She's like 120 pounds.
Like 2,000-3,000 calories a day.
Yeah, and my dad come over and slapped me on the back. He's like, "Oh, she's a good eater." What the fuck? But food is a positive thing that brings people together.
Yeah.
And then going back to what you said about your mustard sandwich, on top of the food, and the reason I was thinking of the whole we all gather around and it's successful, you guys had food and you're around people that you know and love.
Yeah. And we were all smiling, giggling, having a good time. Then,
Yeah. At the moment, what else do you need, dude? You're eating
yeah, exactly.
and you're with people. So, yeah, I love it.
Then yeah, we can go down to the creek and pull alligators out and run down the road with dragging them by the tail. I had no clue. I was a little mongrel. Oh my gosh, cops would bring me home all the time. My son was dragging alligators again. Like, what? They're just big lizards.
Yeah. Well, nobody told you couldn't, right?
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, after a while they kept telling me, but I had no fear.
Well, that's touch the hot stove 100 times before you realize what you're doing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Did you always grow up in Illinois? No, just kidding. Just fucking with you. Illinois?
No, so I was born in Missouri in a little town called El Dorado Springs. From there, we moved around quite a bit. I've lived in Iowa, Indiana, Florida for a while actually, and back up here to Illinois when I was adopted by my grandparents. Then I stayed here till I was 18, and then after that I moved back to Florida, and then I enlisted in the Army after I met my wife, and I met her in Illinois, and then moved to Germany for about 5 years, and then to Colorado Springs was where my last duty station was in Colorado Springs.
Fort Carson?
Yeah, Fort Carson.
I spent 20 years in Colorado Springs.
It's such a beautiful city. I got a funny story about that too. So when I re-enlisted in Germany, they're like, we're going to give you 30 days off between your enlistments here. So you can go home for a little while, relax, and then you can fly into Carson or Colorado Springs or you can drive. It's up to you. And
From where? Where were you at this point?
so we came back to Illinois
Okay.
to see her parents for a little bit, and I'd gotten a rather large reenlistment bonus. So I rented a big old SUV. I was like, you know what, we'll drive to Colorado Springs, and so Illinois to Colorado Springs, I think is like an 18 or 19-hour drive.
Because I can go from upstate New York to Colorado Springs in 26 hours.
Well, at the time I had at the time I had two little ones and a pregnant wife, and we had a big old dog too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, so we had to make quite a few stops. But so we drove. We left really like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and drove straight through. Got into Colorado Springs. I'm checking into the hotel, and it is pitch black. Like they keep everything super dark in Colorado Springs at night. And we're in the parking lot of the hotel. We had to get a special hotel because like nobody accepted dogs.
Oh, don't tell me you were down on Nevada getting in a hotel.
I can't remember exactly where it was. It was somewhere close to the base. It was close enough to the base, but I parked the SUV. I mean, my wife and I get out, and I'm like, man, Jim Carrey was right about John Denver being full of shit. Where's the mountains at? It's like you couldn't see anything. So I'm just like, this is bullshit. And so we go to bed, and at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, I get up to go get breakfast. I walk outside, and it's just like boom, mountains everywhere, Pikes Peak, everything. It's just like the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. And wow, I guess John Denver was right. So
you was wrong. Where's the mountains at? No, you're right there. How long did you stay out there?
So we were in Colorado Springs for, I want to say like 3 years.
All right, so
no, 2 years. So 2006 to 2008.
All right, so you I was out there at that time. So the hidden secret or the hidden thing about Colorado Springs is the weather.
Yeah. Oh God,
just beautiful all the time.
I don't know about that, but
yeah. Well,
it starts snowing like middle of summer for no reason.
What's that?
I said it starts snowing in the middle of summer for no reason.
Crystal blue skies and it's snowing. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then 5 hours later, it's completely 100 degrees again.
Yep. They got the year that I left. They got more days of sunshine than Florida.
Holy cow! Well, I got there. I got there like end of January. No, beginning of January. And then my daughter was born on Valentine's Day.
Nice.
And then 2 hours later, I shipped off to Iraq for a year.
For a year?
Yeah. And then 11 months and 2 weeks.
Wow.
Then that's when I got hit. It's my 11 months and 2 weeks is when I got hit, and I spent about a year in the hospital.
No shit. Now you came back here for the hospital?
Well, they sent me to Germany. So with my injuries, yeah, I had to stay in Germany for a little bit because my left tympanic membrane was completely ruptured.
Where'd you get hit? Where'd you get hit?
Left side of my body. We were in Baghdad doing a combat patrol and IED RPG ambush, and just fucked my rolled up.
I can imagine. Well, I can't imagine.
I mean, there's a whole lot more to it, but yeah, as soon as I was a little bit stable there in Iraq, they flew me to Landstuhl in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
and I stayed there for I think 3 or 4 months. And then when I was healed enough from from like the facial injuries and all that stuff, and the eardrum grew back enough to keep pressure. That's when
Oh,
they sent me
wow.
to Brooke Army Medical Center in Texas. So then I was in Texas for about 6 months doing they had to take care of like burn wounds and head trauma stuff.
Now, did your family come down to Texas?
No, it was just with having 3 kids and
Yeah, logistics.
logistics. My wife has never really been a good driver, so excuse me. Yeah, I was just I was kind of conked out of it most days. They had me on a lot of painkillers,
Sure.
so I just stayed in the hospital and met all the celebrities.
Yeah, right. Uh, how long ago was that?
So that was 2007, 2008.
And how you holding up now? I just doing math in my head.
Getting ready to have, I think, hopefully the final surgery on my left shoulder.
Damn, bro.
I've been putting it off for a while. Trying to get, trying to find the right time, and then the right time never shows up, and finally it's just you got to do it now, otherwise you're never going to be able to not be in pain.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started physical therapy because now they make you do physical therapy before the surgeries.
Sure.
So I'm gonna start that in like 2 weeks, and then hopefully get the surgery done quick, and then get back to it.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you're still around, my man.
Yeah, you take a couple licks, and you just gotta. If they don't put your ticket all the way, you gotta stay and keep playing.
Yeah. Oh, I bet you that the unsung heroes, the army wife, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's been a trooper.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been together 25 years now.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, she was right out of high school.
When my wife and we got married, we met my buddy, my real good buddy out in Vegas for a Kid Rock concert, and we've been married over 10 years now. But when we were out there, and we were out to dinner, the four of us, and my wife nudges me and she goes, "Hey, baby, today's 6 months we've been married." And my buddy starts laughing and he elbows his wife really hard and he goes, "Hey, baby, we got arguments that last longer than that."
Oh yeah.
They've been married, 30 plus years now, dude. So
we'll sit back and watch like the young couples.
Yeah.
And see what they're going through. And boy, I love the lovey-dovey couples that are like, whenever they go out to eat, they have to sit on like the same exact side as each other, and like all that cuteness. I'm like, oh boy, you got something coming. You got something. Like, if I could, I'd just drop my wife off at the restaurant and go to another restaurant.
I'll be back.
Well, she's just like she's Irish, so it's all like steak and potatoes, or chicken and potatoes. That's it.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, me, I'm more. I don't want to say cultured. I'm more daring, I guess. So there's a African restaurant that just opened. Like, let's go try that. Or there's a Brazilian restaurant, or I'll try anything. But yeah, she's just like, she'll get the same exact meal every time we go to a place.
See, you and my old lady will get along, man. She's Korean, dude. She'll eat anything, dude. She'll try anything. Yeah. I'm like, you guys, you people. I always say that to her. I go, you people like the rotten food. She's like, it's fermented. I go, it's the same fucking thing. It's rotten.
Fermented. That's a good one.
We have fun with that. Of course, she's a hell of a cook, which I'm a fan of. But coming out of Carson, So wait a minute, you didn't physically spend a lot of time there then.
No, I most of my time was either training or just not being there.
Yeah.
I got to do like I guess the touristy stuff.
All right. So coming out of the B Street gate, do you remember that?
Yeah.
When you come out of that, there was like a 7-Eleven, and then there was a neighborhood with a bunch of flat top houses.
Okay, yeah, I know where you're at.
Yeah. So on that was on the right. If you're coming out of Carson, it was on the right side. On the left side was some fourplexes at a dead end street next to a elementary school.
Okay.
Well, that's where I lived.
All right.
Well, my back porch, I could see over the train tracks over B Street into the flat top houses, right?
Okay.
So me and my buddies, we'd get drinking, and I'm on the second floor. We were on the second floor. I was. And we'd hit golf balls off my back patio over the railroad tracks, over B Street into the flat top houses.
Oh boy. Yeah. That's actually, man, that's a good time.
Yeah. And
We
then
used to,
those same flat top houses, I was going once a month. I'd go over there and I would buy food stamps from those guys for 25 cents on the dollar.
run down to King Supers.
Yep. Back in the day when it was like the paper, the pink, yellow, green paper, right? Because there was a time I was broke, like slum broke.
Yeah.
And I would go down there when I got paid and buy a bunch of books from them, and I would use them the way they're meant to be used. I'd go to the supermarket and be like, and buy grub with them,
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that was quite an adventure. I enjoyed Colorado Springs a lot.
Yeah, it was an expensive city to live in, but yeah, we had a good time. For a bit there, I'd take some of my guys out drinking to some of the bars and pretend I was Irish. Just to I don't know why, but we get in trouble with the police officers. And you throw an Irish accent that's just terrible, and it throws them off. And then you just jump in a taxi and get out of there so you don't get in trouble.
What bars you hit, dude? I knew them well. I know them all well.
I can't. I honestly can't remember any of them. Can't remember the names of them.
Down on Tejon Street.
Yeah. I mean, there's one. The one I remember the most was had like 3 different bars in it, and then like an upper level that you could look down on everybody as well. I think I did like 8 or 9 Jaeger bombs at night, and oh god, everything just blacked out. I'd never had a Jaeger bomb before at that point. My buddy introduced him to me. So we're doing Jaeger bombs and drinking MGD, which is like the worst combo ever. And then I think I had to be to work at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and somehow I pulled it off. But as soon as I walked into my house, I just started just barking it all up.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the worst experiences ever with alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, Jaeger will do that to you, and then could throw some JD on top of it. Oh, goddamn, bro.
Yeah, it was bad time.
Yeah, nothing like throwing a depressant and a stimulant together and drinking it, right?
Yeah, just black licorice just coming out of you. That's all it was.
Oh
boy.
No, they say it's super expensive now to live there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the week that we left, a gallon of milk was up to like $7.
No shit.
Yeah.
And with kids and stuff, that doesn't.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you go over to King Supers? What the hell is that called? Southgate.
Yeah.
The big King Supers over there. Yeah.
Yeah. Right out. The commissary was I mean, that was right when the big recession started in 2008. So the commissaries were just doing terrible. Like they couldn't get anything in, and all the prices were just going ridiculous. So we had to go out to King Supers. I know I wrote a couple bad checks just to get food.
Floated some checks.
Oh yeah, I floated the shit out of checks.
That's awesome. I was recording last night and I made the joke of, you're old enough, you'll get this one. I said, man, they'll say, hey man, how you going to pay me? I said, do you take a 2-party post-dated out-of-state check?
Oh yeah, yeah, yep.
I said that to my wife when we first met. She's like, what did you just say to me? I'm like, oh yeah, you don't get it then.
Yeah, kids nowadays they'll never know the joy of floating a check.
Yeah, and the other example I brought up here, I'm on a date and I ain't got no money in my checking account. And it's on a Wednesday night, and I get paid on Friday. So like, I hold the date there. We're done with dinner at like 10 o'clock, but we're just gonna hang out, maybe have another drink or two, and like get as close to possible midnight to write that check so it goes in the day after.
Or going out on a Thursday and staying at a place until midnight, hoping your direct deposit's gonna hit.
Yep, yep, yep,
I've done
yep.
that a few times.
Yeah, I've done that a lot. That was
Yeah.
well, it was
Yeah.
easier. It was a little easier with checks. Like you could write a check on Wednesday or Thursday,
Yeah,
depending on right, because you know the way the deposit works and all that, and then you know your direct deposit's going to hit, midnight on Thursday night, hopefully.
yeah.
And but nowadays, like with a debit card, man, it ain't there. It ain't there.
Oh yeah. Well, even if you write a check nowadays, they'll scan it right through.
Oh, I
Like,
haven't wrote it. Do they?
yeah. Oh yeah. There's some little lady that was in front of me the other day. And she tried to write a check, and the girl put it like shoved it into the register like slot or whatever. And like you see the check like whip around the side of it, and then she goes, "I'm sorry, your check got declined."
No shit.
Yeah. Like, holy shit, I didn't know that.
Well, I get it because
Yeah.
I get it because guys like me and you out there floating checks.
Yeah, oh, yeah, we ruined it for everybody. Yeah, well, I tapped my card for her just to, like, hey, I've been there, ma'am.
Yeah. Now you got after you got so you moved back to when you healed up or to a point, you moved back to Carson.
Yeah, so, well, they have a TBI, like a TBI, a special TBI clinic that's in, the Air Force Base that's right there in Carson, or Colorado Springs,
Yeah,
right outside of it. They have a
Peterson.
special TBI clinic at the Air Force Base.
Peterson.
Yeah, Peterson. So I was doing a bunch of treatments there and some more therapy there for a little bit, and then the Army's like, they gave me a choice. They're like, we can reclass you to a finance clerk, or you can stay a medic, but you're going to be, we'll probably have to make you like a medical supply clerk.
Right.
And this is the only thing I ever regretted about my military career was not reclassing and taking a lesser job. At that point in my career, I'd had 4 combat tours. I deployed with the 1st Infantry Division, the 2nd Infantry Division, the 3rd Infantry Division. I had combat patches with all of those, and then 4th Infantry and 1st Cav.
Mm.
And I had fought with the 1st Marine Division, and then I had also I got the Shasataki badge from the Alaska National Guard for fighting with them. And I had 2 Purple Hearts at that time. I'm still working on getting a third, and a couple like awards for bravery in combat. I let all that shit go to my head. Like, being a decorated combat medic with a combat medic badge and all that shit. I had it in my head that people were going to look at me as a finance clerk or some shit like that and just be like, oh, this guy's got stories and blah, blah, blah. In reality, nobody gives a shit in the military.
Yeah.
Like, you could be decked out and like nobody cares. But I let that pride just bite me. I was like, I think I've been the tip of the spear this whole time. I think I'm just gonna take the retirement.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing. I was immature. I was even though I was in my late 20s at that time, I hadn't experienced the world. I'd been all around the world. I had seen more things and witnessed more death and destruction and chaos than most people will in their lifetimes, or several people in several lifetimes.
I was going to say.
But I didn't know how the world worked, if that makes sense. I didn't know how to be a civilized human back in America.
Right.
Essentially, my 20s. I turned 21 on the flight line going into Iraq. Or going back into Iraq. Because my first deployment, I was 20 years old. So between the age of 20 and the age of 28, I did 4 combat tours. And if I wasn't at war for like a year and a few months, I was training to go back to war. And so that was always my mindset, was train to go to war, be at war, and then
war.
Yeah, and then come back, decompress, get my wife pregnant, and then go back to war. That's just what I did. So coming at 28 years old, when the Army is like, we're done with you, or you can do this, I let that pride bite me. And I didn't know what to do. I figured I'd come home a decorated veteran and the world would be my oyster, which it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I'd be like the only veteran in my area, and my area has like 80 or 90,000 veterans.
Yeah, sure.
We have an Army base in my area too. Even though I kind of live in a smaller town. So I was very immature and ignorant to how the real world worked. And
I can see.
Yeah, so being a 30-year-old kid, it was a rough time for me. Trying to grow up and grow up real quick. So that's kind of what happened when I finally got back here. Was I was still healing. I still had injuries. I was still doing surgeries. I was still trying to figure out how to take care of a very young family. And I fucked up a lot. I made a bunch of mistakes, and to this day, I still make mistakes, but not as many.
Yeah, but the thing is, the pressure that I can't comprehend what you've been through, right? Because I've been through some stuff, but not to that level. And I believe that our brain and our emotions can only hold. There's like a pressure point.
Yeah.
And then you were built to do what you were doing, but you weren't built to like go to work for 40 hours and do a family and sit in traffic. You weren't built to do that. You didn't know how to do that, right?
No.
So good. God.
Yeah, I was just built to survive. That's all I knew, and that's all I knew how to do was I got to figure out some way to survive all this, take care of my family, take care of my squad.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
And that's all I had. That's all my mindset was.
What would you? thinking about it now, what would you have done different?
I would have. I would have tried to utilize more resources. Not that there was,
You don't think you would have
hindsight.
stayed in?
Hindsight always 2020.
Yeah, well, of course.
Um, there wasn't as many resources available as there are now.
Hmm.
Um, I definitely would have. I definitely would have not drank as much. But PTSD, man, it was hitting me hard.
Yeah.
I was suicidal. I was alcoholic. I luckily I wasn't. I hadn't discovered any kind of drugs except for the prescription ones that the VA was sending me 90-day supplies of.
In a box. Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
They send you. Yeah, like in the postal service or FedEx, right?
Yeah, they do. So they don't do it now, but back then it wasn't anything to go to my mailbox and have a 90-day supply of Percocet just sitting there.
Could you imagine now? Oh my God.
Oh,
Uh, well, you'd be
yeah.
a millionaire, by the way.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Number one, I would. During the last couple of years of my military service, I've always had a pretty high pain tolerance. So when I was like injured and I was still kind of on base, I would get like these big old bottles of Percocet, Vicodin, and I would sell them to guys. I just sell them for like $10 a pill.
Dude, so being in that environment, especially because I wasn't in the military environment, Colorado Springs, but I dealt with all you motherfuckers at the bar because that's where I
Oh, yeah.
worked. I am shocked that you weren't exposed to coke and everything else.
I think a lot of guys were. Um, one of my best buddies, he was more into like crushing perks up and crushing Vicodin up and storing that.
Yeah.
Uh, they drug test so much in the military that you really gotta watch your shit. Uh, especially the wounded guys. Good lord, dude, I got piss tests like every other day.
I was just gonna say, oh, why? Because wow.
They were trying to gig anybody they could during that time period, so they didn't have to pay us a retirement check.
So
Like
if
all
you
the
were
guys.
busted, so if you were busted with like coke, your retirement's gone.
Oh yeah, everything. They throw you out, dude. Nothing. Leave you with nothing.
So going back when they offered you, basically a desk job, we'll say.
Yeah.
Thinking of it now, would you have taken that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my biggest regret was not taking that desk job.
Yeah.
I would have stayed in. I would have got at least 15 or 20 years out of it.
Yeah.
Now I would have had a lot more stuff open up to me.
Yep.
But like I said, that pride, it bit me.
Yeah, because like a desk job, it would kind of balance it out to be almost like a regular career,
Yeah.
right?
Oh man, those cats that got those desk jobs that never had to deploy, like a lot of guys hate on them. I don't. I was like, I wish I was a hospital medic, or I wish I would have had a desk job, something like that, at an easy aid station. But that just wasn't my military experience.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when I got to Germany, I went ahead of my family. So I went ahead to get all the housing and everything set up, and when you get there, you fly into this like big hub. And they take you from the hub to this bus station. I don't know if they still do this, but at the time that's what they did. They take you to a bus station, and you're sitting there in the bus station, and they have like all these TVs up, and they have your name and where you're going, and what time that bus is going to be there, and what bus you have to be on. So I'm sitting there, and this is no bullshit. This is exactly how it happened. Not exaggerating, not making it up. I'm sitting there, and I'm looking up at the TV screen. I see my name, Private Kelberg. Fifth Corps Heidelberg Hospital. I'm just like shaking my head, like, yeah, it's gonna be so great. I looked up Heidelberg on the internet, saw what it looked like. I was like, man, it's so beautiful. Looked up the hospital. I was looking at like all the little medics running around the hospital and like how great it was going to be. And it got really dark outside. Like the storm was coming in, and there was a crack of lightning, and the power went out in the bus station for just a split second. Everything pops back up. Everything turns back on. The TV screens come back. And I look at it and it says Private Kilberg, Rose Barracks, 1st Infantry Division, Vilseck, Germany. Like, wait a second. That's not what it said before. Like, 1st Infantry Division? Oh, hell no. So I went up to the desk and they're like, yeah, your orders changed for needs of the Army, bud. You're going to the infantry.
No shit.
Yeah, just like that, dude. Just like that. Just my whole life changed right there with a crack of a lightning bolt.
Oh my God. And you were 18, right?
No, I was 19.
Well, holy sh!
19 years old. I was like, oh shit. So I got to my duty station, and they were actually deployed to Kosovo at the time.
Now that was part 1 of 2 parts. Make sure you jump over next. Check out the second part of this with Leo. We get into some pretty heavy stuff with his service, but jump in the show notes. Check him out. I know he would love to hear from you. I'm going to get out of here because I know you got shit to do, but don't forget, Live Rishi, High Speed Daddy, and of course, my website. Till next time.
You out there? You listening?